Hi, I want to talk about how to maximize your score on the MyMathLab quizzes. When you go into the course, as I'm doing now, again, I encourage you to go to your assignments by clicking the View All Assignments link. Once you're taken to that page, make sure Show All is highlighted. And make sure, now notice right now, I'm seeing only 20 of the 52 assignments. If I want to make sure I'm seeing all of the assignments, click on the link that says View All on one page. Once you do that, you'll see all of the assignments with their due dates for the entire semester and the times at which they are due. When you work a quiz, you select the quiz as I'm doing here, and you tell MyMathLab that you're ready to start. And if you've worked a quiz, you've already gone through this, but in case you haven't done one yet or you weren't sure, this is what we're doing. All right, now this problem is telling me, this is for the Chapter 1 quiz, to use a commutative property to complete the following statement and not to simplify. So the commutative property says I can multiply in any order. So the property says 1/4 times b is the same as b. I think I clicked something I didn't mean to click. Is the same as b times 1/4. All right, and I can get more symbols. I'm going to put a multiplication dot in here. So b times 1/4 is what the commutative property tells me I can write instead of 1/4 times b. And then I can go to the next question. So as long as I want to work on the quiz, I go to the next question. Notice how the quiz is telling me how much time I have remaining. And it's telling me, it counts each question as a point. So it's essentially telling me the quiz has 21 questions. And so, and I think it's counting each question as a point. But if a question has multiple parts, maybe it's counting as more than 1 point. But I believe that it's telling me, it's telling me up here, there are 21 questions. Each question is being counted as a point. I don't count the quizzes the way MyMathLab does. So in this particular case, that's close. Every quiz counts as 20 points. That's why you have to go to D2L to see your grades, because the way MyMathLab counts things is different from what I've told you in the syllabus, is the method I'm going to use to count. So you have to go to D2L to see what your actual grade is. All right, now here I'm given a problem. The value of the algebraic expression, absolute value of 2a minus 5 plus a minus 5 for a equal 5 is, and here I'm being asked to evaluate this, replacing a with minus 5. So say for instance something happened, I'm working on this problem and I need to stop the quiz for right now. I have to enter some answer in order to save the quiz for later. Hopefully you'd have time to actually work the problem. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 minus 5 is negative 15. The absolute value of negative 15, and actually let me pull up if I was actually working this, I'd probably be on a sheet of paper working the problem. So I'm going to do the equivalent of a sheet of paper here. So I'd probably have a sheet of paper going. And this is my sheet of paper, this Word document. All right, so I want to evaluate the absolute value of 2a minus 5 plus a minus 5 for a equal negative 5. So 2 times negative 5 minus 5 is in the absolute value, plus negative 5 minus 5. This is how I would actually work the problem. If this were a problem on an in-class test, this is the work I would like to see you do on such a problem. On in-class tests, you have to show work. All right, so absolute value is a grouping symbol, so I need to complete the operations in this grouping symbol in order to eliminate and fulfill what's inside of the grouping symbol. I want to eliminate the grouping symbol, and I want to perform the operations inside of it. So the absolute value of negative 15, so 2 times negative 5 minus 5 actually is negative 15. That absolute value is being applied to negative 15. That's actually 15. That's being added to a negative 5 minus 5. So I could actually write this as 15 minus 5 minus 5. This is 15 minus 10, which is 5. So that's the answer that I would enter in. I'd have pencil and paper nearby, and I would work a problem like this out on paper. So essentially, this was my paper. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to put 5 in as my answer here. Something's come up that I have to go take care of, so I'm going to click the Save for Later button. If something comes up and you don't have time to work the problem and enter an answer, you need to enter anything so that you can save for later. So I'm going to save this for later. Are you sure you want to leave this question? Yes. All right, so the quiz is incomplete. The second attempt is incomplete, is what this is telling me. I didn't submit it. I stopped my work on it. The clock stopped. My work stopped. I've dealt with my need that took me away from the quiz. Now I'm going to come back. I tell it I'm ready to start. And the thing I want you to notice is that now it's taken me to the third problem. I cannot see the first and second problem again. What I see is the next problem. So I'm not able to see the problem, any problem that I've already seen. Notice how my time picked up where it left off, and the clock is still ticking. All right, so when I enter an answer, 30% of 17 divided by 8. Let me pull up my paper again and keep working. So 30% of 17 means multiply 0.30 times 17. And then the problem is telling me to divide that result by 8. So I used my calculator, and I did 0.30 times 17, which is 5.1. And I'm going to divide that by 8. If I was showing work for this problem, this is the work I would show. And using my calculator, I get 0.6375. The problem tells me to use integers or decimals for any numbers in the expression. Do not simplify. Oh, actually, I didn't even read the instructions. All I'm supposed to do is write a mathematical expression. So I'm not supposed to simplify it. So what I would be writing is what I initially wrote. 0.30 times 17 divided by 8. And I can actually write it just like that. That's actually correct to write it like that. All right, so let's say this was the last question on the quiz. I would then, with that answer, I would submit my quiz. And because it isn't the last question, it does warn me that I'm not finished. Sometimes people accidentally click this button. So it tells me you still have 18 unanswered questions. Are you sure you want to submit your test? And I'm going to go ahead and say yes. All right, so all those questions I didn't answer are marked wrong. It did mark correct, the 3 that I worked and actually got correct. I can actually review the quiz at this point. And notice once I go into review mode, now the help tools are available. Those were not available when I was actually taking the quiz. Now they are available. All right, and what I want to point out is that even if you don't review the quiz then, you can always review the quiz later by clicking on Gradebook on the home page, on the left side of the home page. And any quizzes that you've submitted or any homeworks that you have started or opened will be available here. So I have the second and first attempt of quiz 1 available here. Before I take my third attempt, I should review this quiz, which I can do at any time after I've taken it and submitted it. So I can go in and review each of these questions, and I will have the help tools available. Help me solve this, view an example, the textbook, ask my instructor, or print. And if the problem has a video with it, the video will be here as well. Let's see. Yeah, here's an example of a problem that has a video. So I clicked on number 8 of this quiz, and there is a video with that problem. I can view that as well. Notice that it put the correct answer in. It tells me that I didn't answer anything. So I recommend once you take a quiz, if you're not satisfied with that score, review the quiz, study what you got wrong before you take the quiz again. Use the help tools. My encouragement is that first you use view an example. Then try help me solve this. Then if both of those fail, then click ask my instructor. And what that does is it sends the problem to me. You can type a note here. What will happen on my end, when you click ask my instructor and you type a note, when I go into my email, I will see along with your note. And I can click on this link and open the very problem that you were working on. So here's the note I wrote. Please help me with this problem. I just do not understand it. And then when I click on this link, it actually shows me the problem, whether it's in a quiz or whether it's in a homework. And it will show me the actual problem. So I'll see what you've entered in as well as what the problem actually is. All right, and so here's the problem. I didn't enter anything in that, so that's why there's nothing there. If I had entered an answer, that answer would be there. Okay, so please take advantage of reviewing your quiz before you take a second or third attempt. Quiz 1 accidentally had 4 attempts. Typically you only have 3 attempts at the quizzes. So for quiz 1 you actually have 4 attempts. So please take advantage of the fact that you can review these before taking multiple attempts. This will allow you to get the highest grade possible. I only count your highest quiz score. Best wishes to you as you take your quizzes and complete your homework in MyMathLab.